And we're back with I Have a Theory number 3. I said 4 before. We're trashing that take. Which is a departure from the Dead Shrew theory of love and Schrodinger's love, but now we're on to theories of animal sacrifice, or the origin of animal sacrifice. Completely unrelated, I promise. One of the basic tenets of the I Have a Theory series is I think about everything and randomly come up with whatever. This is the kind of lightning bolt epiphany, although it wasn't an actual lightning bolt. It just started with one idea and then it branched out from there. And the one idea was started with my younger brother, and he has been a dinosaur fanatic since he was 2 years old. Since he was 2 years old, he has wanted to be a paleontologist, and he has never wavered in this desire. He is now 27, or close to 27. And so growing up, we watched a lot of PBS specials about dinosaurs. And he would watch them many times. And if he watched them many times, then I watched them many times. So it turns out I know an awful lot about dinosaurs too, at least up to 15 years ago when I stopped, well, 12 years ago when I stopped living at home. And one of the things that Robert Bacher said in one of those specials, in the 80s probably, was that large land predators don't just hunt, they always also scavenge. I don't know why this random piece of information popped into my head, but it did, it stuck. And I even know who said it. Shock. And it got me thinking. It got me thinking about back in the day when humanity were small groups chasing the megafauna, such as woolly mammoths, etc., for hunting purposes. And think about that for a second. I mean, it's so easy to memorize as a factoid. Early human beings hunted mammoths. But think of how much meat that was. And how many people you had in a tribe. I don't know exactly how many, but it was probably anywhere between 4 and 24 in most groups. And how you couldn't possibly eat or process all of that meat and hide. Furthermore, what's going to happen when you've got this huge woolly mammoth carcass sitting out in the middle of nowhere? Vultures are not the only things that are going to come around. Your major land predators, saber-toothed tigers and dire wolves and whatever else, wild dogs that are smaller, coming in packs, eagles, all of these major hunters are going to converge on the kill, and when you have a sufficient critical mass of them, you're going to scare away the humans that took down the animal in the first place. So if you're a really bright human being, what do you do about this? Well, one of the laws of zoology is that energy usage, uncool. If you can get something cheap, easy, and dirty, you're gonna do it. So if you offer all of these large predators a cut, a percentage of the meat, even perhaps the choice parts of the meat, the coveted organs, the liver and the heart and the kidney, and you put it, say, in a clearing, maybe on a little platform so they'd be sure to smell it, they would go for the fight-free food, gorge themselves stupid because there's plenty of it in a mammoth, and leave you alone to harvest whatever else remained of the mammoth, as much as you could in a couple of days before it started to go bad. You know, this sounds an awful lot like offering something on an altar to a predator-affiliated god. If you think about, as far as I know, every mythological system that I know of that began with a pantheon of multiple gods and goddesses, the most powerful of those gods and goddesses were always associated with a predatory animal. In some systems, they could turn into this animal. In some systems, they had these animals as familiars or companions, but they were associated with a predator. So my theory is, and it's most unfortunately completely untestable. I would love to test this theory. I want a time machine, but we can't always have everything. My theory is that in the earliest pantheons, these predators that were capable of taking down a person, a human being, were the gods, because they were a higher life form, as it were. They were higher up on the food chain. And in order to placate them, so that they did not bring dire misfortune on the tribe, and the tribe could flourish with all of the material goods that they needed for survival, you would put the choice organs and cuts of meat on a platform far away from the kill, so that the predators would leave you alone. And that is my theory.